All right, guys, I am excited to be sharing this with you. I got my text message from Rivian that they are on the way and we should be taking delivery shortly. So I can't wait to share my experience with you guys. Let's do it. All right, so before I get this video started, I do want to say this is going to be a long video. I'm going to try to put some timestamps down in the comments below so you can skip ahead to see what you're most interested in. Now, this is an overview based off of the Rivian Delivery guy. I hate to say it that way, I can't remember his name. But it was very thorough and fantastic. Please enjoy as you see my Rivian Delivered.
Compared to his Model S,
Yeah.
Tesla Model S,
Yeah.
which is that thing's fast and handles really well. And when he got in it, he refused to sign paperwork until he
got to drive it.
Block,
yeah,
on the block, and he was just like
okay,
instantly smitten. So I have a good feeling, but
yeah, I had a Model S before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Cars is my thing. So I've had more than my fair share of vehicles in my life.
So do you have more than these?
No, just these two, but they like a new car is there usually every 2 years.
Every 2 years?
Yeah.
Did you pick out the yellow calipers, or was it?
The yellow calipers I think are just standard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, those are standard. I love how it, with these black rims, how it pops.
Yeah, it is. These black rims look so much nicer than I thought they were going to.
Yeah, so my two favorite rims are these ones, and then the other ones that are like have a little, like this would be chrome.
Yeah.
So it's black accented
Yep.
chrome. But with the white, the all black looks fantastic. The chrome you want with like maybe El Cap or some of the other colors.
Yep.
But this is, yeah.
Perfect. It even smells like a new car, and I'm not even in it. Even cleaning the windshield for me. What do you think, Ben?
I get a little, because I'm still gonna think they're gonna take your car away, Dad.
By the way,
Okay, no worries.
to avoid me getting any dirt on it, I'll pull that out before we go. But all right, so first thing we'll do.
Oh yeah, you definitely have to.
Yep. Don't be afraid to give it a little oomph.
Okay.
First thing we'll do is if you go back into the app.
Okay.
And then go into next.
Mm-hmm.
and then begin setting.
Okay. This.
And then swipe up, and your vehicle should greet you here.
Awesome.
Go ahead and hit that for you since you got a camera in the phone.
Cool.
So first thing it's going to have you do is set up your driver profile.
Okay.
If you want, I can hold that for you.
Yeah, that'd be great. And if you want to see what you're doing.
So go ahead and hit continue, and then click your name up in the. There you go. Now the first thing it's going to have you adjust is your steering wheel. So go ahead and click steering wheel.
Okay.
And then you're going to use the wheels on the steering wheel, the little pinwheels, to telescope it in and out and up and down.
Cool. That's probably pretty good.
Feels good?
Yep.
Go ahead and continue. And then go ahead and click side mirrors. So those same little wheels you're going to use to move, the left one's going to move it up and down, the right one's going to move this one up and down.
Okay.
And then the buttons on the right and the left will move it in and out. Yep.
Okay. All right.
And then go ahead and hit remember. All right, so now your driver profile is set up. Now at any time, I can get this back to you if you want.
Yeah, perfect.
Now at any time, if you're driving and you're like, I'm too far away, I need to be a little bit closer. As soon as you move your seat, that screen will automatically pop up, so you can quick hit remember.
Okay.
And save your profile on the fly.
Okay.
Rather than having to go into that menu yourself.
And then go
while you're trying to drive.
Okay,
it'll
perfect.
do that for you.
Cool.
So next thing we'll do is actually set up your phone. So if you go ahead and click set up now.
Okay.
And then something will pop up on your phone, which says pair. Your phone is now a key.
Nice.
Perfect. So we continue.
Okay.
Next thing we're going to set up, this is a separate Bluetooth connection.
And hit done on here.
Yep, go and hit done.
Perfect.
If you want to go to your Bluetooth menu in your phone.
Okay.
Perfect. I'll hit that for you. Now you'll see these RIVNs on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all for the phone as a key. You'll see Rivian audio pop up at some point once we connect. That is specifically for utilizing your phone through the infotainment system, for making calls, playing music, all that good stuff. So yeah, so Rivian audio right below that is for.
Okay.
Perfect. Phone is paired. Now I don't know if you use Alexa, and if that's something you want to use in the vehicle.
Yep, maybe.
Okay.
Yep.
So are you logged into a Prime account?
Yes.
On your phone?
Yeah.
Perfect. So go to your camera. Making you do all sorts of stuff here. Yep, click that.
Cool. Yeah. Let's do this.
You can use the Face ID set up later.
Okay.
You'll be able to go in. I'll show you where you do that.
Yeah, perfect.
If you want to scan that and see what the data is collected from the vehicle.
Okay. I'll look at that later,
Yeah,
but
very minimal stuff. We're not tracking your vehicle or anything like that. So that's it for your initial setup. So what would you like to know? And I'm sure you've been.
I've watched
videos.
Yeah, a ton of videos. People are obviously sharing. So
yeah.
I don't know. Honestly, too much. I need to know.
Give you the.
Yeah, just give me the 30.
101?
Yeah, the 30,000 feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So first thing we'll start off with is your climate control.
Okay.
Right? So to access climate control, you just click in the center here or over here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where you control your climate. To turn on a vent or turn it off, you just tap it. That will turn it on.
Okay.
And then to move it around, it's just a drag and drop.
Nice.
And then for your floor, heating or cooling, it's either no zones or dual zone.
Okay.
And you just tap it, and that will turn that on.
Perfect.
It will, when it's in this mode, now it'll just going to blow air, right?
Okay.
So turn the HVAC off. As as soon as you turn that on, it's going to take into account external temperature, internal cabin pressure, and then what you have the temperature set at.
Yep.
And it's going to automatically turn on heat or turn on AC.
Okay.
And adjust. You do have heated and cooled seats, so those are controlled right here.
Okay.
You also have a heated steering wheel.
Okay.
Whatever option you choose of, let's say, cooled, when this goes down, that's what's going to pop up here. Okay. Right? So if I were to go to heated and then close it, now heated's going to pop up there. So that way you don't have to
keep messing around. Yep.
You do have rear control of the rear climate from here. So the top vents are manual, unlike these ones. And then it does have floor heating and cooling. If you wanted to give your rear passengers control of the climate, you would just click this here. Okay. That unlocks this screen, and then they can have control of floor ventilation. Perfect. The upper vents, their lights, all that stuff. Okay. The rear seats are also heated. Okay. They're not cooled, but they are also heated, and that's something they can control from their screen, or you can from the front. Okay. As well. Perfect. And then you have your two defogger options. That's all right. It's a common term. Front and rear. The rear is going to be heat only. Yep. The front will be defog, defrost. Okay. Right now, the way that the software is set up is it's like an all or nothing. It's either like all fan speed for defrost or defog, or nothing. Okay. That we've been getting a lot of feedback about that, and so I think with an over-the-air update, that's a simple change where you can control the fog speed. Okay. See, as soon as you do this, oh, that is. So an update's already happened. So an update has already happened. They just updated this vehicle, so I'm still learning as well. So there we go. So you can control that with the fan speed, and then the default setting is to turn these off and turn these on. Yeah, to hit the. But you can. So if you just click back in, it will shut that out. So that's kind of the default setting. Okay, perfect. For climate control. All right. Go back here. One of the new features that was just added with the update, since we're talking update, is this feature here. Mm-hmm. This is your, and I'm sorry, I'm doing all the touching. I just the camera, so yeah, it's fine. I'm trying to help you with that. So you can now add your garage to the vehicle. To add the garage, you would just hit the plus button and then go through the process of setting that up. Okay. That was a long-awaited over-the-air update feature. So yeah, I heard some people said that was updated. So it's, you can add like up to 18 garages. So wow. Don't know if you have 18 garages to access, or with work, maybe you have a couple other ones, but you can add those all if you'd like. Nice. Since we're on this screen, we'll go over navigation. So it's very similar in appearance to Google Maps. Functions similarly to Google Maps as well. So I'll let you tap the search button up there. Yeah. So if you go up there, you can search by type, or you can type in an address or a business. Sure. And it will pull up nearby businesses. That tends to be the first one. There you go. So I would assume the one on Yola is the closest. Yep. So it'll calculate the route for you, and it's also going to tell you what your charge is going to be on arrival. Okay. Now, if this was a longer distance, so let's go back up here and let's go to, we'll go back to Rivian. So because you're at a higher charge, it's not planning a charge stop for you. Yep. But again, you notice it is a little bit lower. Let's try, what's a St. Louis, Missouri. Michigan. Sure, well, let's go to Java. Okay. Let's take a road trip. Take a road trip. So it's calculating the route. Obviously, it wants to get you there as fast as possible. So it's taking into account where charge stations are located at, on top of what's the fastest way to get there.
Yep.
In order to maximize speed and minimizing the number of charge stops. So you'll notice for the first 3 hours and 3 minutes, you're good to go. Then you're going to come here, and you have a 27-minute charge stop. You can go in here, and you'll see. Okay, so you'll spend 27 minutes there. It'll get you back to 74 miles of range. Or no, it'll get you to 177 miles of range. You'll have 74 when you get there.
Yep.
By the time you get to the next charge stop, you'll need to spend 24 minutes there to get yourself back up to 160. You'll have 40 miles when you get there. So it's taking into account what you're going to be at and how far you need to go. And it's doing all those calculations to get you to your end destination as fast as possible, and minimizing the amount of time you're spending at charge stop.
Yeah, perfect.
Now, obviously, you can, let's say you get to Springfield.
Yep.
You want to have dinner, right? You find a place where you can eat dinner. You're obviously going to probably spend more than 27 minutes there, so you're going to have a higher charge, meaning your next stop is going to be a little bit further away.
Yep.
So it isn't perfect. It's assuming you're just trying to get from A to B.
Yeah, get there and go.
No stops for bathroom eating, any of that stuff. So
yeah, my wife and I, when we got our Model S, we actually flew to Denver, picked it up, and then drove back on the network. Yeah, so Tesla's
That's
supercharger
awesome.
network. Yep.
So it is the charges that it is showing you. You can view what those charges are. So that's Electrify America. Probably most of these.
Yeah,
America. Yeah. So that's one thing I'd recommend is getting the Electrify America app.
Yep,
If you don't already have it.
Yep.
Charge Point's another good app for finding multiple, for finding chargers or for finding charge point chargers, and then Plug Share will show you a bunch of different chargers.
Yeah, great.
Within the navigation system, so I'll come back here. If you click the lightning bolt, and we zoom out here a little bit, it's going to show you nearby chargers, how many are available, and what the charge speed is. So if it's green like that, if it's green like that, that means it's a level 3 charger. It's a fast charger.
Yep.
If it's white, it's a level 2 charger. And if it's dark green like this, actually no, if it's dark green, I believe it is a level 2, and if it's white, it's a level 1. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can, within this submenu, search by charge speed, search by, oh yeah, okay, they're both DC fast. That's
okay.
Too. By network. So this is a new update. So before it was just Rivian, Charge Point, and EV Go.
Yep.
We've now added EV Connect, Electrify America, and Green Lots.
That's great.
Which is great because if you were to say, I want to find, I want to just click this, it would only show you those 3 types of chargers. It wouldn't allow you to, even though Electrify America chargers will show up, if you try to filter it at all, it takes those away.
Okay.
And since Electrify America is right now the most accessible charging network, it's a good thing that we added that.
Okay, perfect.
You can also check and see which one, only viewing available charging stations. So notice now that we're zooming out, some of those ones that were nearby are no longer there.
Okay.
Because they're not good. So that's charger, so we'll recenter this. In addition to this kind of standard menu mode, if you click the globe, it will be satellite view.
Oh, sweet.
And what's really cool is when it shifts from daytime to nighttime, it will mimic a satellite image at night.
Okay.
So it'll look like it's kind of a more moonlit. It's just a trick of the eye the way that they do that, but it is they do dim it for you, which is really nice. So it's not super bright. And then you can also change obviously your settings. So how is the map oriented? How loud is the navigation system? It's separate from your in-car audio, so that way, you know, if you're bumping some music,
yeah,
your navigator doesn't all of a sudden come on at that same volume. You can have the navigator speak a little bit softer.
Okay.
Or you can have it alert you with just chimes.
Perfect.
You can also turn on some filters here, so avoiding highways, ferries, tolls, ferries you shouldn't have to worry about, I can imagine, around here. And then also to display traffic. This isn't the best yet, but it's improving.
Yeah.
So you can see here, it's very similar to the way kind of Google Maps or Apple Maps looks.
Yep.
But we're still working on getting that live data. So that's kind of a work in progress, but it is a feature that's already built in.
Okay.
And then obviously you can also favorite addresses. So if you click the stars, any saved destinations will pop up here. And then this is also where you go to set your work and your home.
Perfect.
Addresses. So
Awesome.
that's navigation. Any questions about navigation?
Nope.
Good there?
Yep.
Cool. So we'll go over here to music. So looks like, I don't know what, this must be a random playlist?
Yeah, just songs that are saved on my phone.
Just saved on your phone? Okay.
Yeah.
So as you'll see, the phone icon here, that's where you would go to play music off of your phone, or from, like, do you have Sirius XM?
I've got Spotify.
Spotify? Okay. Actually, well, you brought that up. Spotify. So if you go back into your camera, Spotify is built in, and it's here now. There you go.
Perfect.
So all of your playlists, all of that will come up. I'm assuming these vehicles have CarPlay in them.
Yep.
So you're probably used to Spotify, how Spotify works in CarPlay. One thing that's what I use, and one thing that's unfortunate about CarPlay Spotify is you can't actually go in and, like, type in to search. If you want to search something, you have to go back into your phone. You can do all that from here.
Nice.
Search artists, go to your library, whatever you have saved. So that's saved on here. If you have any other streaming apps, like I said, SiriusXM or Pandora, those aren't built in, but if you open them up and play on your phone and go here,
they'll play right through there.
It'll play right through. Yeah.
Perfect.
So it's not like you can't use them.
That's the YouTube that was downloaded to your iPhone many years ago. That
Was that it?
Yeah,
Was that it?
and I still can't get it off my phone.
So that's what I thought, and I was like, it is an iPhone.
Yeah.
Still haven't figured out how to get it off there. That was.
I haven't messed with it, so I'm like, whatever.
Bono's happy.
Yeah.
Somewhere Bono's really happy.
Absolutely.
In addition to Spotify and phone audio, you have FM.
Okay.
Right? Basically, your FM stations. The local stations will auto-populate here for you.
Okay.
But let's say you want a favorite
from
95.5,
yeah,
and you hit favorite. Your favorites will then pop up
Perfect.
up here.
Okay.
So it's separate. You
Okay.
can't actually, save some stations. You also have tune in. So if you want to stream different radio stations, you can actually stream them. Obviously, it'll be at higher quality because it's using LTE, a little bit delayed, obviously, if you're listening to sports or anything. But from here, you can listen to local radio stations, and then you can also, like, browse and search by local. You can browse by sports, by type of music. If you just want to throw something on in the background. So that is available as well, built in. And if you are so inclined, you can get a tune-in account, and then you just would go to this silhouette here, and you can log yourself in.
Perfect.
To your account. Any questions about the music feature?
Nope.
The different apps. Okay, so this is your EQ, right? So this is can be a bit overwhelming, especially if you're not an audiophile. It isn't just your basic bass, treble, mid-range.
Yeah.
So I'll briefly explain what each thing is. Obviously, your fade and balance drag, drop. If you want to go back to center. Oh, did I actually put it back? Oh, that's good.
Pretty close. Yep.
Pretty close. That'll take it back to center. Soundstage focus. So this is how the sound is focused within the vehicle. So where do you want the who's on stage and where do you want that focused at? So if you're just in the car, you bring this all the way here and it's going to focus the sound on you. If you go back to center, that's more of a multiple passengers, equal sound all around. And then as you pull it away, it'll be a little bit more distant. Yep. So that's what the soundstage focus is. It is just a swipe left to right. Dynamic sound adjustment. So this is based on, okay, you're going down the highway, you got some road speed or road noise, maybe some wind noise. This is going to adjust the sound to make sure that it matches, it stays at that volume. So it's an increased volume. It's also going to dynamically adjust the sound based on what you're listening to. So if you go from, you know, jamming out to U2, and then you switch to NPR or talk radio, it's going to adjust how the sound is delivered for you. Okay. And then 3D surround enhanced is going to again use the algorithm to adjust the 3D surround sound. There isn't too much of a difference between the two. I'm gonna be honest. And probably my ears won't know the difference. My ears don't. I'm a big audiophile, but like I still haven't kind of figured out what the difference is. I usually just turn it to enhanced and just let it do. Like, it must be. It's better. It is better. Yeah. I like that. And at one time I did know what the exact little difference was, but I can't remember off the top of my head, so I apologize. I know this is daunting. Low, mid, high. If you want to just change it to whatever you're listening to, so you're listening to rock, it's going to auto set the EQ for you based on the music. These EQ settings, they're not just copy paste different EQ settings. Meridian designed these EQ settings using this audio system built into the truck. So like they're EQ specifically for this sound system and for this car. They're really good. That's usually what I use. I usually don't play too much around with it. But if you're an audiophile and you know, by all means, go ahead. Any questions on music? Nope. Good there? Cool. All right, drive modes. So you just click the axle. You see they're all whited out. It's because your car's kind of sleeping right now. Yep. To wake it up, you just tap the brake pedal. Ding. Now you can change drive modes. Okay. Right now we're in all purpose. So this is pretty self-explanatory. Combination of performance as well as efficiency. It's your best of both worlds. Good for daily driving. Within all-purpose mode, you can change from high to standard or low. You can change ride heights while you're driving. But if you're trying to go from like high to low, depending on how fast you're going, the vehicle might tell you, hey, that's probably not the right thing to do. Yeah, slow down and then we'll adjust. And that's just for the health of the suspension. Sure. So that's all-purpose mode. I guess before I get into the other modes, you also notice these three sub-options. These are in every single drive mode. And each one, I guess this is the default, is standard. These will change based on what drive mode you're in. So the default for all-purpose is a soft ride, right? So soft suspension, standard brake regen. You might prefer high since you have some experience driving an EV, and then stability. Obviously you want maximum traction on. But if we go to like sport mode, this is going to lower the ride height. It's asking you, nobody's underneath the car. Okay, no one's underneath the car. So now we're going to lower. So we were in high, and you'll notice that. And that is way faster than my Ram, because I have air ride suspension on that. And the quickest adjusting suspension. That was way fast. So we're already, it will flash when it's adjusting, and then once it's solid, we're now in low. So we just went from, 13, 14 inches to 10 inches in a matter of 10 seconds. We can go even lower, so if you go to lowest, now we're going to go down about half a foot. Not very noticeable, but now we're in the lowest mode. The wheel wells will really hug the tires.
Yeah.
And you'll notice in sport mode, these have changed. This has changed, right? So
yep.
Typically, if you're in sport mode, stiff suspension, you're able to corner, really improve the handling, but you're going to feel the bumps, right? So personally, I like to drive in sport mode because I like the quick, responsive behavior of the vehicle when it's in sport mode, but I don't want to feel every single bump. So I just manually shift it to soft.
Okay.
Right? So you can adjust these from the defaults as you want with whatever comfort you have. And then if you just hit reset, it's just going to, so it's going to take it back to the default height and the default setting here.
Perfect.
When you launch the vehicle, which I'm sure you will do, this is the mode you want to be in for sure.
Okay.
To do that, because you're going to get the most response, and it's just a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Conserve mode. So this is for road trips, right? This is if you are wanting to maximize the vehicle's efficiency and maximize your range. So as far as ride height goes in conserve mode, you have standard, low, and lowest. The vehicle will auto adjust as you're driving. So if you're going 70 down the highway,
yep,
you might notice all of a sudden we're going from standard to lowest. The vehicle's going to do that for you to give you the greatest aerodynamic efficiency.
Yeah.
You will notice that the car is not as responsive in conserve mode, and that's because we've cut down from 4 quad motors to dual motors. So it goes from all-wheel, 4-wheel drive to front-wheel drive.
Okay.
So you're not going to be able to accelerate as fast and those kinds of things, but it still drives great. And this, like I said, this is what you really want to use if you're either low on charge or you're going on a road trip. Okay, right? Fair enough. And then off-road, I don't know how much off-roading you're going to do.
I won't.
So let's go to highest. So we were in low. Now we are slowly adjusting. We are at an angle, so I think it's probably moving the back right now.
Yep.
Within off-road mode, you have auto, which is going to, the auto settings are either standard, high, or highest. Obviously, if you're off-roading, you probably want a pretty soft suspension, want stability, so those are going to stay the same as all-purpose. But then within off-road, you can go to different modes, like rock crawl mode, right? So it's going to change the suspension, it's going to allow you to turn off brake hold, it's going to stay at stability on, rally, quick acceleration, sporty handling, but on like a dirt track.
Yep. Stiff
suspension, reduce your stability so you can drift a little bit.
Okay.
And obviously the ride height changes, and then drift. Whoops. And then drift. Drift mode, the stability is on. So there's no traction. So that's why
you're just going for it.
Less grip, more slip. That's kind of the mode. I don't know how much you use these, but they are available for you. Go back to standard. And then you have towing mode. So it's telling you there's no trailer detectable. We'll switch to towing mode so you can see. You can manually change the trailer brake gain. Obviously, it's not going to do anything because there's not a trailer attached.
Yep.
It's going to stiffen up the suspension so that way you're not, your truck isn't bouncing at differently than the trailer is.
Yeah.
Standard brake regen, stability obviously on. And this you can only adjust the ride height when you're towing while the vehicle's parked.
Okay.
Obviously. You wouldn't want to try and lift your suspension, right?
With a trailer
while you're driving.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't be a good long-term move.
Right.
And a cool reminder on the dash that you're actually towing something. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. And I guess speaking of, you'll notice the icon here changes.
Yep.
So that will change based on drive mode. So we're in towing, obviously.
Yep.
This is going to tell you the ride height.
Yep.
And then notice the range changes. So let's go from towing to conserve. It will auto change the range, it'll change the icon, and it will change your ride.
Nice.
So
cool.
that all adjusts for you front and center.
Okay.
Any questions on drive modes?
Nope.
Okay. Cool. So we'll go to the next screen here. briefly run through this, all of your accessibility options. Obviously, these are available within the app on your phone, but we do have, you can open all of the different, the tonneau, tailgate, front trunk, gear tunnel doors, charge port door, all that stuff. Obviously, the tailgate, gear tunnel doors are manual closed, so you will inevitably have to get out to close them, but you can open them from here. We just recently added a car wash mode.
Okay.
So if you click car wash mode, it'll disable the charge port sensor, so your charge port door won't automatically open.
Oh, I wouldn't have thought about that.
Yep. It'll mute your parking sensors, so you'll see like the visual indicator.
Yep.
When you're going through, but it's not going to be the whole time.
Yeah, I have an old video of me driving my Model S through a car wash, which people have problems with the fact that I did that anyway, but. But all the sensors are going absolutely nuts. Bonkers. Yeah.
So I actually just, the guy I delivered to yesterday, as I said, he traded in a Model S, and he was telling me about their car wash mode. And that, I guess, the Model S car wash mode automatically turns, puts the vehicle in neutral for those car washes that have like the track that automatically pulls you through. This doesn't do that. Okay. I'll show you when we move over here how to shift into neutral. Okay. It's kind of awkward because it isn't like a tab. It's kind of a slight halfway in between gears thing. Easy once you get used to it, but yeah, car wash mode will not do that. If you are going to need to put the car in neutral, you'll have to do that from the stock. Okay. It'll also turn off the auto wipers as well. Okay. Gear guard. So there's two options here. Gear guard for everywhere, or just for the alarm. So this setting will only trigger gear guard when your vehicle's alarm goes off. Okay. So it will only start recording if an alarm is triggered. Gear guard video, if you turn that on, if the vehicle detects any exterior motion within a certain distance, I think it's 4 feet. Yeah, 4 feet. It will record a 15-second clip. Okay. And if somebody walks from, let's say, the tailgate to the front of the vehicle, each camera will pick it up the whole way. So you'll be able to watch the person walk all the way to the front of your vehicle. Okay. Feedback that I've gotten about this feature is that it does suck battery. Okay. I think it's particularly, you're more vulnerable if you're in an area that doesn't have many R1Ts. Yep. Chicagoland has more than a lot of different places, but you know, it's kind of your discretion. I don't know. Sure. You know, this area, I don't know specifically how many there are. Most of the deliveries we do in this are in the suburbs, but it is a new car. Yep. So you're going to get people that walk by it when you're at a restaurant, you're eating dinner. So you can play with that as you will, but I have heard it does drain some batteries, so that's something, feedback we're taking and going to work on, so it doesn't do that. Once you turn that on, though, you can set it to everywhere. So even when you're parked in your driveway, or just when you're away from home. Okay, cool. And that's based on the address you put in to the navigation system. Awesome. So that way, if you know you have it parked in your driveway and you're walking around, you're doing yard work, it isn't recording you the whole time. Yep. So I'll turn that off for you though, for now. That little guy will pop up on the screen if gear guard is active, and he'll be holding a little camera, and he'll just pan back and forth on the screen. Okay. To let you know he is recording video, so that if somebody walks up and they see that, they're on camera. Cool. From this menu, you can then go down to lights. So this is controlling cabin lighting, display lighting, and then your accent lighting. By default, the accent lighting is off. You can turn it on to the brightest setting. You're not going to be able to see it. But at night, it would be. But in low light conditions, very, very noticeable. It will be around each door panel, all 4 doors, around your wood paneling here, and then very soft illumination at your feet as well. Okay. It's a pretty cool feature. It is just white light. It isn't colored. Yeah, that's fine. Colored lights. Potentially, maybe with an over-the-air update. I'm not sure on the specific lighting hardware that's in there, but it is white light. Nice. For your display, Right now it's set to auto. Obviously we're in the daytime, just to preview what night looks like.
Okay.
And we can even go in here and see. It does try to. It's actually really hard to see.
Yeah, it's hard to see right now.
Here we go. Let's turn that up. So you can see it does dim.
Oh, yeah.
So it almost looks like it's nighttime out. Yeah.
It's hard to pick up on camera, but I got it.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Your eyes got it, right?
Yep.
So that's lighting. You can also control what cabin lights come on.
Okay.
You know, based on if the doors are open or closed and how you want that all to function. You can also just tap the lights. They're just touch lights.
Okay.
So one tap turns it on, that dims it, and that'll turn it off.
Nice.
Same with the rear lights up there. This is where you control your charging. So if you need to change the charging amperage, you can do that. You likely won't have to, unless you're in you're charging on a really shady circuit.
Sure.
And you're concerned about it, you can do that. But what's really key on this screen is the charge limit.
Okay.
So I'm assuming you're going to use this as a daily driver.
Yep.
Best for battery health is to set your max charge to 70%.
Okay.
So notice it lines those out.
Yep.
Once it hits 70, you'll see that kind of lined out all the way to 70, and then from there it'll just be empty charge.
Okay.
And it will limit the charge you can take to 70% of the battery's capacity. It's just best for long-term life of the battery. There's kind of an intermediate setting if you need to maybe drive a little bit longer and you want to just make sure you have that extra juice, 85%, and then default is 100%, and that's what you want if you're going to go on a road trip. Obviously you want full capacity of the battery. So you can play with that as you want. We do recommend for daily driving
just 70%.
Yeah, because you don't want to load it all the way up and then drain it all the way down. Unload it, it's just going to cause the battery to degenerate faster.
Sure.
Also from this screen, you can turn on your 120 volt outlets.
Okay.
So
they're not normally just on. You have to turn them on.
Yeah, and the rationale there is, if you're not using the outlets, why send energy there?
Yep.
Right. Why send power there? So you do have one here.
Okay.
Right underneath here. One in the gear tunnel. Trying to remember which side it's on. One side has a 12 volt. The other side is the 120.
Okay. And
then you have two in the bed.
Perfect.
So if you want to use any of them, you just go here, turn on outlets. Now they're getting power.
Okay.
You're good to go. So that is charging and power your 120s. And then this bottom screen here is information about your vehicle. You can set trips. You have trip A and B, and then all of your information about your vehicle, your VIN, your odometers here, and then your different features of your configuration.
Nice. Cool.
Any questions on that?
Nope.
Cool.
Yep.
So we'll go to cameras. So this will automatically kick on into rear view mode when you shift into reverse. But if you want to, let's say you're pulling into the driveway, you want to get as close as possible, you can pull this up and you can just keep this as the main screen when you're driving the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the 360-degree camera, and then you also have the front view. If you would prefer to have the view of the camera specifically looking this way, you would just click here, and it's going to give you side view.
Okay, cool.
So at launch, this is what you would have seen. But since I think it was two over-the-air updates ago, they added the 360-degree camera.
Great.
And it's pretty great.
Yeah.
I really like it. It's how I loaded your vehicle onto the flatbed and got it off. Using that. So
awesome.
It's very accurate. So those are the these four are always going to stay here. These four icons. This one will change based on what your last selection was from the last.
Okay.
So we were in cameras last, so that's going to be what pops up there. But let's say if we go into settings, that's what the gear is going to pop up there.
Perfect.
Go to owner's guide will pop up there. So whatever the last one you use from the sub menu is going to be your last icon.
Cool.
Owner's guide is totally searchable. It's all digital. It's all here. If you do have any questions when I leave, this is a good place to check.
Yeah.
Or within the app, you can contact your guide. Is Martin, right?
Martin. Yep.
Love Martin. He's an awesome guy. Contact Martin through the app, or there's a lot of FAQs and different things within the app that can answer your questions. But any information about the vehicles is located here. You have your phone, right? So
yep.
all of your contacts. You can place a phone call by going up here. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then Gear Guard.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you would go to find your videos.
Okay.
So if the alarm's triggered and there's a video, it would be here. If it's motion detected, it would be here. Sometimes you get a really funny video you want to save. You can star them. Those would show up here.
Okay. And then is there USB-C, USB I plug in somewhere to
if you want to pull them off, yes. There is internal memory, so as more and more videos collect, it will eventually cap, and then it will start deleting, auto-deleting.
Sure.
It will prioritize based on what's the oldest video and which videos aren't starred.
Okay.
So it won't delete those if you have some favorites, right? But older ones, it will start to auto-delete once it gets full. I haven't seen how many videos can go on here, but it's a lot.
Okay.
So it's, yeah, I think you'd really have to max out
okay.
capacity. I mean, I've seen people's vehicles have hundreds of motion detected videos.
Okay.
So, but you can also delete individually. So you can, if you hit select all, there's where you go to copy to USB-C.
Okay.
And then you can delete them or say transfer them to the
Perfect.
USB-C. Yeah, then we'll go to settings. So these are your additional settings. So first screen is connect. This is all your connections, your Bluetooth, your Wi-Fi. So if you want to connect to your home Wi-Fi network, that would be done here. I know you said you were kind of struggling on your phone with getting connection. So we won't do that right now.
Yeah, I can do that later. I know how to do that.
Your vehicle comes with a complimentary year of LTE.
Okay.
After that, it'll be available in some form of membership package. I don't know what it looks like because we haven't officially rolled out what those are and how that will work or what the cost will be. But at least for the next year, you don't have to worry about it. But you can turn your vehicle into a Wi-Fi hotspot.
That's awesome.
And you can also edit the name of the network and the password, so you don't have to remember some crazy combination.
All right.
And you can connect up to 8 devices. So everyone should be able to pull on the hotspot.
Great.
Garages, again, is here. And you can, if you don't want it to pop up there, if you'd rather just use like a physical remote, you can put that up here, and then you don't need to worry about it there, but otherwise it's by default on.
Use the technology.
There you go. And then here, you have your speaker, right? Okay. So your speaker's currently at 77%, and it is unlocked. You can lock your speaker in. No, you hear that?
Yep.
We won't lock it, though. And I'll go ahead and pull it out for you. So, speaker's right here. It's just hand in, straight out.
Perfect.
It's got really great sound, and you can connect, turn the lantern on. You can have this be an extension of the in-vehicle audio, or you can have it just play music
right off my phone. Yeah, perfect.
Whatever your preference is. So if it's not at 100%, as soon as you put it back in, and it's just a simple, just slide it right in, pops right in.
Yep.
And it will automatically start to charge it if it's not at 100%.
Okay.
Once it is at 100, it won't pull any energy from it.
Okay.
So that's different connections. Vehicle. So these are your different access, driver plus settings, access settings, door unlock behavior. Do you want all the doors to unlock? Do you want them all to come out, or just the driver's door when you hit unlock on your phone or on your fob? when you shift into park, do you want all the doors to unlock, or just the driver door, or do you want them all to stay locked until you click the lock or unlock button?
I don't know yet.
Yeah. Different people have different preferences. Our fleet vehicles are just set to unlock all the doors.
Yep.
But yeah, you can change that. You can turn on or off proximity lock and unlock. So as you walk away or walk towards your vehicle, the vehicle will lock or unlock itself.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to demonstrate when we have all sorts of keys around right now, but you'll see how that works, especially as you divvy out the keys and so on. Auto relock, so this is by default set to off, but that feature is available in the event you know, accidentally unlock your vehicle. You know, you sit on your fob and you unlock it.
Yep.
If nobody gets in the vehicle, after a certain amount of time, the vehicle's going to say, okay, that was an accident.
Yep.
It's going to relock the car.
Okay.
For safety reasons. But sometimes that can get annoying if you unlock it and then you walk away and then you come back and the car's locked again. It's like, oh, I have my hands full now and my fob's in my pocket.
Yeah.
So that's why it's set to off. Power hood operation. I don't know why you turn that off.
Yep.
Side mirror auto folded. So when the vehicle is locked, the mirrors will auto fold. When you unlock the car, they will auto unfold.
Okay.
You can change how that behaves. If you want them out all the time, you can do that. And you can also turn on or off rear view and side mirror auto tinting.
Okay.
The tinting's pretty subtle, but it's effective, but it's subtle. Like it's not a too obvious difference that you're like, oh, I don't like it. I mean, I notice it when it's not working, but I don't notice it when it is working.
Okay.
So I think that's a good thing. From there, Driver Plus. All of your 8S features, you can turn them on or off from here. That's for collision warning, automatic emergency braking, lane keep assist, or just lane departure warnings, rear cross traffic alerts. What else we got here? Oh, auto high beams as well. That you usually want on. That's usually a pretty blind spot warning. You kind of want that too.
Yep.
Lane departure warning, it's pretty sensitive. Like it will, as soon as you cross that line, it's going to ding at you.
Okay.
It's whatever your preference is.
Yeah, we'll keep it off for now.
If you do have it off, you'll still be able to activate highway assist, and the vehicle will still keep you within the lanes.
It just isn't going to ding you when you hit the line?
It's just going to ding you when you're just driving normal.
Okay,
yep.
Cool.
From here, this is where you'll update. That's how your phone works in the car. This is where you will update the vehicle. Right now, you're up to date. That's the most recent version. You will get a notification on your phone through the app that says, that an update is available. Okay. And then you actually have to go in and manually tell the vehicle to update. Yep. That's just so we don't end up. It doesn't try to update when you're at low battery, or it doesn't try to update when you're out somewhere and you need to be driving the vehicle. Yeah. Because it can take anywhere from 60 minutes to 2 hours sometimes, depending on connection speed and stuff, on how fast that goes. So when it is installing, you can't really do anything with the vehicle. You're not going to be able to like open your front trunk or your tailgate. So just
it's like updating your phone. Once it's doing it,
once your phone's
you can't do anything
until that bar reaches the top. You can't do anything on it. Service. So if you want to change your wipers, you'll notice that like
they're really hidden. They're down,
really set in there.
Yeah.
So you just click that, and now they'll come out. You can pop
nice. Cool.
So that's how you change the wipers. You can also turn on car wash mode from here. Tire change. So this is people sometimes. I know actually in one of the initial review videos that was done, they didn't do this, didn't realize it, and they were confused why they couldn't change their tire. If you try to jack up the vehicle without turning on tire change mode, the suspension is going to try and auto level itself. Yeah. So you're just going to end up not. You're just going to be constantly jacking up this vehicle, and it's just going to keep resetting
readjusting,
itself.
yeah.
Readjusting itself, yeah. So what you want to do is you want to switch to off-road auto. So that just go to off-road mode, go to the highest ride height, and then turn that on. That will keep the suspension from auto leveling and also give you the most initial ground clearance for changing your tire.
That's good to know.
If you're gonna ship the vehicle, you turn that on. So it's gonna keep the lowest ride height for like on the back of a flatbed, right?
Yep.
We don't even turn that on when we ship it.
But it's available. But it just depends on how far you're going.
How far you're going, yeah. So we do turn that on, and then show and tell mode. So all your neighbors are like, "That's a sweet new car." And everyone wants to come look at it. You turn on show and tell mode, and it's going to keep until you reach 30 miles of range. It's going to keep your screens on. It's going to keep your exterior lights on. So it's like car show mode.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool.
So that is available as well. And then from here, you can change your exterior lighting sequences. So does your light bar interact with you when you lock or unlock the car? When it's charging, do you want the front and rear bars to illuminate green?
Yeah.
Entry lights. Do you want the puddle lamps to turn on? They're 2 compasses.
Yep.
And then guide lights. So when you are getting out of your vehicle, how long do you want those exterior lights to remain on while you're walking around your car? And then do you want the charge port light on or off when the vehicle is locked? So if you have the vehicle locked and you're charging, do you want that light, and you'll see it when we go into the charge port, do you want that light always on, or do you want it off until it turns on when it says you're fully charged? So it'll illuminate green when it's at full charge.
Okay.
Or you can have it turned on and it will like strobe for you. So again, preference stuff.
Okay.
Apps, there's not many here, just Alexa and media. So this is where media, turn on an HD radio or turn it off, and then Alexa, this is where you would sign in.
Is there talks of
more apps coming with over-the-air updates?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's again a lot of the stuff that like the hardware is all there. It's just a matter of coding and software.
Sure.
So it's
and I'm sure negotiations with whoever wants to be a part of it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So as more apps are added, they will show up here. Drivers and keys. Right now, you're the only driver, but you can see that you're assigned your phone, your fob, and both NFC cards.
Cool.
You can delete keys, but you have to contact customer service. There's really no reason to delete them. But when you add your wife, when you invite her through the app, she'll need to get the app on her phone, and then you'll invite her via email. She'll get a link. She'll go to the link. She'll create an account, and then she'll accept once she signs in.
Awesome.
She will pop up here as well, and she'll also pop up here.
Okay.
You're the only one that pops up because you're the only person. But if she were here, you would just click there, and then it would say,
and then set up her.
Yep. And then whenever you switch back and forth between profiles, the vehicle will auto adjust.
Okay. Perfect.
For you.
Cool.
So, and then legal and privacy, if you want to know
all the jargon.
All the jargon, it's there for you.
Cool.
Otherwise, that's pretty much the software stuff.
Awesome.
Hardware stuff on the inside. So you saw the cam speaker.
Yep.
You found the wireless charging pad.
Yep.
If you want to access your cup holders, just push in. They pop out here.
Nice.
And then if you want to push them back in, it's just pop back in. Center console. Obviously, there's no glove box.
Yep.
So this is really deep, which is great. There's a button on either side. Just push it. Pops open. You have 2 USB-Cs in there. And then you have pass-throughs as well for those.
Yeah, cool.
What's really cool is, like, let's say you have a passenger over here that's like looking for something. They'll pop both of these open, right? But then you can be like, oh, I'm driving, I want to have my arm here.
Yeah.
You can close it and still leave one open.
Okay.
So it is auto open, manual close. In addition to those 2 USB-Cs that are inside the center console, you have 2 right below the rear screen here.
Yep.
And then you have 1 on the back of each headrest.
Okay.
So 2, 4, 6 USB. Yeah, there's plenty of USB-Cs. And I thought there was some. Oh, yeah, your cam speaker also has USB-C
right there in the back.
well.
Yeah,
So,
perfect.
Plenty of charging there.
So you can listen to music and charge your phone at the same time.
Exactly, exactly. Because we don't have a glove compartment, for better or for worse, try to help compensate for that by putting some storage compartments right here in the center of your seats.
Yep.
So both seats have these. I'm gonna move out of the way there.
Yeah, you're good.
It's enough to fit like a pair of sunglasses or an iPhone in, but you know you're not going to be able to necessarily put I don't know. You're not going to be able to put your
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you
But
got to
it
be
is
mindful about what goes in there.
mindful, but it is additional storage.
Yeah.
And then you also have the side compartment storage. I mean, it doesn't appear to be that big, but you can fit like pretty big bottles in here. So this one's a little bit too tall, but like a Nalgene bottle,
yeah,
you can fit a full Nalgene in here. It looks like it might be too thin, but because it expands, you can really maximize storage space on the sides as well.
Cool. Good.
Hazards are up here. The SOS button, if you ever need roadside assistance, you don't have cell service.
Yep.
That's a button. I've only been around it when it's been pressed once, and it was an accident, but somebody immediately came on and was like, can I help you? I said, no, we're cleaning the car. We're in the plant right now.
Yeah.
But it is really responsive, and that SOS is tied to the powered antenna.
Okay.
So chances are you have a better shot of getting reception if you don't have good cell service.
Okay.
Now, I don't have it on my door, but on your door, if you open it up right here, you'll notice
is the flashlight. Yep.
So you just push it in. It's got 3 settings, 1,000 lumens. It's really bright.
Yeah, I've seen it in a ton of videos, so that'll be great.
So you have that as well, and then we can go ahead and continue with the other exterior features if you'd like.
Yeah, awesome.
If you go ahead and reach your hand just in here, squeeze it, and then pull up. I can take this off for you.
Nice.
This is supposed to be removed. Yeah, we sometimes keep the film on. We used to keep the film on because people really enjoy doing it. It's like popping zits for some people.
Yeah.
So we kept it on all the screens. This one's a little tricky though. I don't know if I can get it. I just cut my nail, so.
It's all good. I can get it later.
Yeah, I'll let you, oh wait, here we go. There we go, I just gotta get the corner up. All right, maybe I can't get it. I'll let you, yeah.
Yeah, I'll get it, don't worry.
Anyway, this is your subwoofer. So that's why it doesn't, the storage doesn't extend all the way across, but you do have some under-seat storage, which is, I think, I mean, there's a lot of places to put stuff in this vehicle, especially with the gear tunnel, but having that under-seat storage is pretty great.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And then you obviously have these expandable pockets here.
Yep.
Not too much storage, but and then you also notice your outlet, your 120 volt underneath here,
cool.
as well, and then that's a rear screen. So you have cup holders obviously back here. You have a little compartment to store some stuff. But what's really cool is you also have a pass-through. So you slide this up, and then if you go and pop the gear tunnel door, and go ahead, you have a pass-through. So if you you're on a road trip, you want to put a cooler full of drinks in here, but you don't,
you don't want them in here.
You don't want them actually in the cab. Put the cooler in there, and then you can go ahead and access it. There's other uses for it, but that seems to be the
it's pretty genius.
Kind of a great idea for accessing stuff, or maybe like I don't know, maybe you have an animal, right? You have 2 dogs, right? So maybe you have dog food back here, right? Or you have something back here for the dogs, and you want to be able to access it while you're on the trip. You can do that. I wouldn't say put the dogs in the gear tunnel.
Yeah, probably not
climate controlled, but
not a great idea.
Not a great idea. But yeah, so that's under-seat storage and the pass-through. And then
nice.
You have the gear tunnel door open on your side still. So it's a mirror image.
Mirror image.
You have over here, you have your 120 volt. And where the 120 volt is over here, on that side, it's your 12 volt.
Yep.
So, same spot. Within You can sit on this. You can stand on it.
Yep.
250 pounds is what we recommend. It's tested for a little bit more, but yeah, 250 is probably best.
Okay.
You did find the compartment, so there's a compartment on each side. Over here is your first aid kit. Over there is your compressor cable.
Nice.
So that is the compressor. You've got a spare, so you might not have it in there. If you didn't get a spare, you'd have like fix-a-flat glue.
Okay.
That like it's like a bag of it that would hook up between the compressor and between the tire and the cable, so that way as you pulled air and put it into the tire, it would shoot that fix-a-flat stuff in there. But since you have a full-size spare,
okay,
you don't need that. You don't be afraid to give these a good push.
Okay.
Because if you do, just
it'll stay ajar.
It'll stay, but it's not closed all the way. Don't be afraid. It's durable.
Yeah, it sounds like everything on the vehicle is like just give it a go.
Yeah, when I was first driving the R1Ts, they were prototypes too. I was always accidentally leaving doors open and stuff because I was just so afraid to
just
ginger
do
with
it.
it.
Yeah,
but it is really durable, so you don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
Back here, obviously you have your light bar. This is what will illuminate here when it's charging. It'll illuminate green. So you have two buttons on the back here. You have the far button, which controls the tailgate. So it is auto down, but it is manual up. And then a one-touch tonneau cover, open and close.
Okay.
You can also control that, obviously, from the center screen, like we saw, from your phone, or the key fob. Key fob, not the tonneau, but you can open the tailgate and the front trunk as well with the key fob. But to open the tailgate, just one touch, it'll automatically go down.
Yep.
When it goes down, this piece, which slides up when it's up, comes down, so you don't lose that space. It's not wasted space. You go from 4 feet to 7 feet of space, and then your tonneau, one touch. If you touch it while it's going back or coming out, it will stop it.
Okay.
Since you do have, is this house, Charlie?
5.
5? Okay. So I don't know how much climbing she does, but since she is 5 and she is pretty small, if she's back here playing around and she hits the tonneau cover, it does take some pretty significant force to stop it. Cover.
Yeah.
You know,
she won't be, but that's good to know.
You could sit here and you know, kind of brace yourself and it would stop, but you know, if you're not bracing yourself and you're small,
yeah,
you could, you know, more scary than it. It's not going to wouldn't hurt her, but it would scare her because she'd
it's good. It's good to know that it's not overly sensitive.
Yeah, and it's the same with the front trunk. There isn't like a sensor to auto stop it. Nobody really gave me a straight answer, so I just tested. I just stuck my arm in. Again, it'll squeeze a little bit. It'll be more scary than anything else.
Yeah.
But like if she were to get her hands, like the fingers caught at the right angle, I mean, it won't chop her fingers off or break anything, but it'll probably hurt.
Okay.
So that's another kind of area with kids just to be safe. Couple features of the bed. You have these LED lights here. They automatically turn on when you open the tailgate. When it's closed, they will shut off. But if you want to have them illuminated, you can turn those on from the access screen. So you have that available there. You have your two 120 volts on this side. Yep. Right here. And then over there, you have your compressor cable.
Perfect. So you can air up, air down. So I don't have to stop at Discount Tires anymore to get my tires filled.
No.
I just do it myself.
Just do it yourself. I don't know if you do any. I see a bike in there. If you're taking the bike on the go, it's great for that as well. Okay. But yeah, I mean, it is strong enough that if you have a little bit low tire, just pull the cable out, fill it up.
Cool.
You'll notice that there's two little slots here.
That's for the cable, so you could tie stuff into the bed.
Yep. Yeah. It will just slide right in and slide right back out.
Okay.
as soon as once you have it sliding in, push it all the way in, and you lock the car, it locks in place.
And it's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Once you unlock it, just you'll hear kind of it'll go. It's essentially saying that it's now pulled the locking mechanism away. Now you can just slide it out. And there's 2 LED indicator lights that will strobe, just white light, when the cable is attached.
Perfect.
So
cool.
You have that as well. Your spare is right underneath here.
Yeah.
To access it.
I don't think I got a spare.
Oh,
there you go.
That's right. You didn't get a spare.
Yeah.
So I thought you did for some reason.
I had it on. I've reconfigured this thing. I can't tell you how many times.
Okay,
and
that's probably what I read.
And then initially, at the last minute, I pulled it off because I was like, I've never needed one, so I'll just go off of I won't need one.
So, yeah, you can always get it after the fact. The tires are pretty expensive, actually.
Yep.
But chances are you won't need it. This is where your spare would go. This is housing for like a fix-a-flat unit. Like you can buy, it's a compressor that has the fix-a-flat stuff like built into the housing. We were shipping with those, and then we were like, we have a compressor here. Why wouldn't?
Agreed.
Why are we spending the money and?
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So that's why this is for that. You can buy them. You know, you can buy a fix-a-flat compressor thing if you so choose.
But as of right now, it's an organizer.
And this just it's an organizer, and this will just pop right out.
Okay.
I won't do it now, but it will just pop right out. Dry storage in the vehicle is going to be obviously the cabin, the gear tunnel, and the front trunk. That is dry storage, waterproof, weatherproof. If you are in a pinch and you want something that like it could get a little wet, but you'd ideally don't want it to get wet, my recommendation would be close the tonneau. Obviously, you'd have the tailgate closed and put it in here.
Yeah.
That's kind of like in case of emergencies, I guess. But it's not anything that's in the cab or in the tailgate
is potential to get wet.
In the bed, has the potential to get wet, even with the tonneau closed.
Yep.
Like you'll notice if you go through a car wash with the tonneau closed, you'll get a little water in here. Just the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
So
they can only do so much to keep water out.
Yeah, yeah. But if you got the tonneau closed and it's not like you're not just dumping water on the back, chances are you might get a little pooling inside here, but
not a lot in there. Yeah, perfect.
However, if you do have a bunch of water in here, let's say you go swimming and you've got towels and swimming trunks and I don't know, pails and shovels and all this stuff that's got all wet, and you throw it back here, you do have a plug that you can pull out, and that will drain the water.
Perfect. Cool.
Another feature would be putting a bunch of ice in here and putting drinks in there.
Yep.
Which you can do back here and in the front trunk.
Awesome.
So to close it, if you push it in the middle, sometimes it doesn't like to latch well. So if you just put your hand here or on that side where the latch is.
Yep.
Good to go.
Nice.
So to close it is just manual light. You'll notice that slides up. You're good to go.
Cool.
And then close it. You can close the tonneau obviously without the tailgate up, but we'll just close it. One thing I do recommend is just making sure, like this is fine, this little bit of dust and stuff, but if you're, I don't know, if you're out camping with this thing and you have this open the whole time and it's got a bunch of leaves and stuff inside it.
Clear it out.
Clear it out.
Yeah, you don't want stuff like gumming up in there, right?
Gumming up inside of here.
Yeah.
This, of all the feats of engineering that this vehicle has, this is, I'm told, one of the most impressive engineering feats because it is these hard panels, but still folds itself in and rolls itself up.
Yeah.
But part of that design and part of that that function means that it can get prone to gunking up, especially if you allow a bunch of debris and stuff to get inside. So
fair enough.
Just watch for that.
Cool.
Charge port. So charge port door, you have 3 lines here. Just one tap. It will slide up. This is powerful enough, so I'm told that if it freezes over in the wintertime, it'll break the ice.
It'll break the ice. Okay, cool.
You know,
it'll be in the garage, so no worries on that.
No worries there. So you have your that's that charge port light I was talking about. That's your standard plug, but if you're at a DC fast charger, you'll need these two. It'll all come in one big piece. You just pull that down, plug it in, then you can DC fast charge.
Awesome.
Close it, just another tap. Is that a D?
Yep.
It's your HVAC unit.
Okay.
So from here, again, you can open the front trunk from the center console, your phone, the fob, or manually. Just, you'll see, you have a camera right here. It's directly at center.
Yep.
Just left of center, there's like a little rubber button.
Okay.
If you want to go ahead, you can just, it's right there. Just go ahead and push it once. Lights will flash. It'll pop up. And you have the front trunk. You have 11 cubic feet of space up here. So you have this, which is removable. If you want to just use the space underneath it, but you want to keep this in, all you have to do is just fold it up. It's magnetic.
Nice.
It just pops right back down, and then it also just pops right out.
Awesome.
So these are your portable chargers. So you have the plug along with two adapters. One is a 120 and one's a 240. If you have access to a 240 outlet, then you can obviously use that, but in a pinch, if you just have a 120 volt, it is in here. And then this is that gear guard cable.
Yeah, sweet.
That goes in. You do have a 12 volt here. Once you get your permanent plates, license plate front bracket, and then lower anchorage guides for child seats. I don't know if Charlie's still in a child seat, but that guides the seat when you put it in the back so it doesn't scratch a lot.
Okay.
Essentially.
Yeah, I like it.
You'll notice these buttons. So there's one in the bed, there's one in the gear tunnel, there's one here.
Emergency releases.
Emergency release. I've tested all of them personally. They all work.
Okay.
So if somebody's in your front trunk and you don't know it, and they press this button, and you're in the front seat, you're going to get a notification on your center screen that says, there's somebody in the front trunk, like stop driving or
stop the kidnapping.
Yeah, exactly. But they do work.
Perfect.
And I know kids like to climb through stuff, especially the gear tunnel. So if they happen to get stuck, it will. There's one on each side, and when you push it, it will open both doors.
Okay, perfect.
So there's that, and then this is where you replace your washer fluid. Just right here.
Cool.
Hidden. No oil to change, so there's no other, really nothing else to access underneath here, other than the storage space. To close it, if you want to, you can manually push it, but
with all the bugs on it, I'd prefer not.
there you go. So all you have to do is, again, fob, phone, center screen, or just one touch again. Push it, the lights will flash, it'll come down, it'll stop, and then it'll fully close itself.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking me through the entire vehicle.
Sorry, I'm sweating so much.
No, it's finally, we got a hot day in Chicago, and here we have it.
I know.
So,
are you going to do any towing in this?
no,
You're not?
no.
Okay. I'll just show you where it's at.
Okay.
I won't. It's pretty easy to access, and I think I actually have a coin in my pocket so I can use it. So this is housing. This is a housing. You'll notice it splits here.
Yep.
This is just, there's plastic fasteners, and you just have to push up.
Okay.
Push up and twist. So I'll go ahead and do this. Has been in the shade, so it's not too hot down here. So just one, turn, and then it'll pop out. Turn, pop out, and then it just slides out like that. Nice. And you have the hitch and your connector here.
Awesome. All hidden.
All hidden. I really like this feature. I don't know why. Like it looks like a different vehicle from the back when this is off.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like that's a look that some people want to have on their vehicle.
Yep.
But I like that you can cover it up and hide it. I think it looks nice aesthetically.
Yep. It's the details that matter.
Yeah.
So.
I agree. And then to put it back in, you just push up and twist. Push up and twist. Oops. Needs to slide up a little bit. There we go. There we go.
All right, guys. What a great delivery experience. I thought he did a fantastic job walking me through the vehicle and all that it has to offer. I can't believe it is here. Yes, it is in my driveway. And more videos to come on my first impressions of driving it and ownership. We'll see you guys soon.